Okay, I know this is a spur of the moment live, um, but I have some things I need to make very clear to everybody tonight. No, it can't wait till Friday night, because what we're talking about Friday night is totally different. This is in continuation to my mine and Eric's podcast on Sunday on the Morning Brew Show, where we were connecting the dots with the doors and the portals and the black-eyed children and the fallen and the demons and the jinn, and we made all those connections, those very, very mind-blowing connections, um, and even incorporated some of the missing people concerns. Um, First and foremost, I'm going to do the disclaimer like I always do, which this is for entertainment purposes only. This is my own theories, my own thoughts, my own research, which I own full rights to, and my podcast channel. So anybody claiming that the music is theirs, that anything I discuss is theirs, are liars. Okay. And if you seek to demonetize me for that saying that, then that's on you. I hope you have attorneys. All right. That being said, it's been a very long and arduous road that I've been traveling here the last couple years. You all know what I've been going through physically. Um, and it's getting progressively worse. So I'm seriously considering making this Sunday's Paranormal Brew my last show. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. Anyways, the research. I hope you guys are ready for this. I really do, because I've already got a target on me for disclosing what I've been disclosing the last couple weeks. And I've definitely caught the attention of the ones that I don't want to catch the attention of. Doing my research today, I don't know how many of you actually know about the fallen angels and what their names were and all that, and just, basically everything about them, that they were different from the ones that were watchers. The watchers are still with us. They're still keeping an eye on their domain. And the reason I say that is because, well, first off, the leader, the one that decided to consort with the women of man, and make Nephilims and stuff, and decided to court with animals, making what you have today, the cryptids, proven in the Bible, Book of Enoch, and the Book of Giants, by the way. I really don't know how to come out and say this, but I've always said question everything, and I've said that from day one, because I feel like our world is a complete lie. Everything about our world is a complete lie, a complete smoke screen for the powers that be, and I give them limited power over me, that's for sure. You can call them the fallen, you can call them I call them by their name, Azel, he's he was the one of the fallen angels that taught weapons making and basically warring to mankind, to humanity. Okay, which is why we have a certain part of our population that love war, because it feeds the machine and it feeds the ego of Azazel and, yes, I'm going to say it, Yaza. Okay, Sam Yaza was the leader of the Watchers. He was the head honcho. He was the one that was in charge of the 200 Watchers that were placed on the earth here to watch over mankind and to make sure mankind didn't screw up. Sam Yaza was a powerful entity. At one time, he was a very powerful angel. Now he's very powerful, so powerful that he was actually one time considered to be able to challenge Lucifer for Lucifer's throne of the fallen. Okay. They're not one and the same. Sam Yaza is not Lucifer. Okay, just so you know. Let me put this on the comments too. I got to see everybody in the chat. Uncaged Sabbath's good to see you. Blue Dog, good to see you. I know there's others out there. Just you don't have to say anything. This is just going to be a brief little thing that I'm going over. Anyway, Sam Yaza was the one that brought and taught witchcraft and the dark arts and all that to humanity. Okay. He's the reason we have the dark arts nowadays. Okay. And he's really the reason that our world is in the mess it's in right now. Okay. Because there is a fraction of humanity that is working side by side with these beings. Okay. Right under our feet, literally. Right under our feet. Did you know that people take the Illuminati very, very laughable? Okay, well, it's not laughable. 1782, George Washington had penned a letter to the leaders of the Freemasons in France and Europe and here in America. And in that letter, he penned in that although he's not skeptical that the Illuminati didn't follow them over here from France, that it doesn't surprise him. In fact, it intrigues him. Okay, so George Washington, writing that letter in 1782, basically stated that he was willing to work with the Illuminati and that he knew the Illuminati was here. Okay, Corey, good to see you. Scott, good to see you. Make a long story short, Washington, D.C., everybody talks about, the streets are in a pentagram form and, all these other, but did you know there's 23 zodiac signs in Washington, D.C.? 23. The most of any other city in the world. Okay. Secondly, the first land map of Washington, D.C., where it plotted out lands, the plats of land, the lots, went from 1 to I think it was 717 or 719 plots of land. And it went in normal numerical order, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 400, 401, 402, and so on and so on. Then you get up to the 600s. And it goes 664, 665, 667, 668. Now, what's missing in those numbers? 666. The mark and the sign of the beast. Now, in my title, I call this update New Babylon and the Influence of the Evil in the USA. I wouldn't be surprised if the United States is not considered the New Babylon, which will be destroyed. Now, hear me out. Guru Magong, good to see you. We all know what happened to the first Babylon, okay? It got destroyed. It says in Revelations that the new Babylon will be destroyed too, okay? On that plot of land that was not numbered, that was numbered 666, but you know, they avoided putting that in the layout of the land in Washington, D.C. Do you know what is built on that plot of land that is numbered 666? I'll give you one guess, and you're not going to like it. I guarantee it. Sue, good to see you. What is on the plot? The lot 666 was built the United States Capitol building, where our senators and our congressmen meet, and our president meets, and all the politics of the world and America take part on a lot that was numbered 666. Now, why do I bring that up, you say? Because everything that is done in this world is because it's done for the fallen ones, the watchers that fell and the fallen ones that followed Lucifer, that rebelled against God and the angels in heaven. Okay? Everything in this world evolves around Lucifer, Samyaza, Azazel, and several of the others. You got Baraka, you've got so many of these different fallen angels, and each one of them has a duty in this world, believe it or not. Most of them are just to terrorize human beings and humanity and basically frighten you all to death, to coerce you into doing things evil, to take you from the light and into the dark. That's why they're here. They don't like humanity. They don't like humanity because God put us before them as his creation. Now, this is where it's going to get a little weird, okay? We all know that Washington, D.C. is built on the pentagram, that the U.S. Capitol building was established and built on the only lot that was numbered 666, which is the mark of the beast, the sign of the devil, okay? But that's not all. We know that there's 23, zodiac signs in Washington, D.C., the most than any other city in the world, okay? Which, George Washington's monument could even be considered a tower, per se. We all have our theories about America being the original Egypt. There are so many Egyptian artifacts that are found here that you can't mistake it. You really can't. You can't deny it unless you're the Smithsonian. But here's the thing. Do you remember some time ago that we talked about, this is probably about a year and a half to 2 years ago on this channel, which they probably removed the video by now. But we talked about the booms, the loud booms that we were hearing, and how it sounded like it came from under our feet and in the sky at the same time. That was things being made underneath our feet. Okay. And it just reverbed off the sky, off the ionosphere. Okay. That wasn't HARP that was doing that sound. That was the powers that be in our world, in America, working with the dark forces, which are the fallen, the watchers that were supposed to help mankind and not hinder us. Did you know that there is 3 places in the United States that have the oddest frequencies and vibration and radio waves that have been recorded by the U.S. Geological Survey recently? One of those is the Pine Barrens in New Jersey. You know what the other one was? The other one is the entire state of West Virginia. Another part of America was the eastern lands of Oklahoma. Think about it. All 3 of those places, what do they have in common? They have in common cryptid activity, UFO activity, witchcraft activity, demonic activity. Old Mother Leeds cursing her 13th born child to be the devil. Now, this is just research, okay? You make your own conclusions. In fact, you do your own research. I want that. That's the only reason I come on here, is to get people involved in it like this. Because you're being spoon-fed a bunch of bullshit by our government, by our education system, by everybody. Because the powers that control them have them so petrified that they're not going to tell you the truth. But I'm going to tell you the truth, because I don't care. There's nothing more they can do to me. What are they going to do? Make me more poor? Make me more unhealthy? I couldn't give a rat's ass if they tried. I told you I don't fear anything. Not anymore. Not anymore. Anyways, tunnels lead all over underneath the Pine Barrens. Tunnels and cave systems lead all under the state of West Virginia. Tunnels and caverns and cave systems run all along the eastern section of Oklahoma. Our government is working with some of these tunnels. We all know they have monorails underneath the ground, you know, going from Washington, D.C. to the Greenbrier in West Virginia, okay, or, you know, to Camp David and all that. You know, we all know they have all these underground tunnels and stuff. We've seen videos on social media of these 53-foot long semi-tractor trailers filled with craft food goods and everything else, and they're taking them into these big opened areas under the ground in the mountains. For some reason, what are they doing? Who are they feeding? Could they be feeding the missing people? Could they be feeding the 330,000 missing immigrant children that crossed the border. Could they be feeding scientific studying teams and the black ops security that they're using to keep all this secret that live in these areas and underground? Hell, there's right up the road here, in another state, there's 500 people living underneath the ground in a mountain, taking care of all the trucks coming in and out. What does this have to do with the missing, you say? Well, remember when I said that something picked up the rock, the boulder in Yellowstone, and pulled the deer by its hind legs underneath the boulder, and then the boulder closed down on top of it? Hey, DC Heifer, good to see you. Dead Wolf, good to see you. Deleted, good to see you. Spark, good to see you. You remember me saying that in I think it was Friday night's podcast, okay? Missing people are always around water and boulders. I just don't know how we are unable to make that connection, okay? Everything is not as it appears to be. These powers that are in control, these watchers that have and fallen that have basically ruled this world for thousands and thousands of years, do this cycling over and over again. And it's the same old families that are involved in it too. It's the Rockefellers, it's the Rothschilds, it's the Cheneys, it's the Bushes, it's the Clintons, it's the Obamas, it's big names in Hollywood. It's The Rock. Everybody's Joe Cool Man. It's Oprah. Yeah, they all got their hands dirty. And it's Diddy. You don't hear them talking very much anymore about the tunnels they found in New York, or the tunnel systems that they discovered going from Mexico into San Diego. You don't hear about those anymore. Why is that? Because they're concentrating on a new tunnel system right beneath our feet. Every minute of the day, something is going on right beneath your feet that our government is aware of, and it involves missing people. It involves mutilated cattle. It involves mutilated humans. Hi, Candy. Good to see you. Ida, good to see you. It involves all that. I don't know if anybody ever really thought of it that way, as us having people in our society that are willing to sell us out. Thriller James, good to see you, man. Selling us out every single day and every moment of our lives. And if you don't believe that there is a demonic grip on America and the world for that matter, just look so close to DC, you'll see it. DC is all of it. DC is the tip of the iceberg too, though. Most places where missing people turn up missing from are labeled either like the Devil's Tower, the Devil's Sister, the Devil's Chair, the Devil's Trail, Devil's Lake. I mean, there's so many different places that are dark and named after something satanic. Okay. And there are always areas that have a lot of cryptid activity, UFO activity, real high level of activity. Okay. Yeah, Thriller James, they are closer than we think. But what you got to consider too, though, is we're not dealing with normal when it comes to people that are in our government and in our military high up that are working with these entities. Okay. The information that I'm finding, I didn't have to look very far other than the National Library in Washington, D.C. You know, um, it's amazing what you can find out when you start looking and doing your own research. Now, do I believe that the fallen angels and the watchers are the ones manipulating this world? Yes, I do. I do believe that 150%. So, what's the next step, you say? I hope you got your prayer beads. Because at this very moment, those negative forces are influencing people that we love, people that we admire, people that we wish wouldn't be influenced in a negative way. But we all had a warning in front of us called the Bible. And in the end times, it says that the son will go against father, and daughter will go against mother, and so on and so on. What do you think's happening today? Think about it. There's a lot going on that we have no idea. But if you follow the trail of crumbs, everything leads you to DC and to certain families. Certain institutions like BlackRock, certain institutions like Vanguard, Berkshire Hathaway, Kraft Foods, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, all of them. Johnson and Johnson. They got us coming and going, folks. You're either drinking it, watching it, eating it, or breathing it. They got you coming and going. They got us celebrating holidays because it's a moneymaker. And if anybody ever talked to a real indigenous person, you would know what the Pilgrims did at the first Thanksgiving dinner after we, the native people, fed them. They killed every one of the native people that brought food, that sacrificed for their own families to feed the pilgrims. Things haven't changed. We're still being sacrificed. We just don't know who's doing it. But I do. So, that being said, after this weekend, I won't be having a podcast very long. Okay. All of next month is going to be medical purposes only. I'm not going to worry about a podcast channel or anything else. I will come on periodically. You never know when, like tonight. I gave a very, very short notice. But I have to because I'm being watched. And it's not even like your normal, drive-bys where they watch you and stuff, or they're parked in a van down the street. They're also working with the supernatural, watching me. So we can keep on going the way we are, or we can turn to prayer. Plain and simple. Samyaza, Azazel, and the rest of them, they don't care about us. They don't care about you. They don't care about your happiness, your safety. They don't care if you breathe. In fact, just the fact that you're breathing, they dislike you and hate you. There's going to be a big war coming. I saw this the other day. A massive war, massive death, massive destruction. There's going to be a few that are going to survive it, that are going to be God-fearing, and hopefully they'll make it to the other side. Well, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. This whole country, you might as well call it New Babylon. Because the deeper I dig into the actual history, the actual founding fathers, the actual "in God we trust," it's not that God that you're trusting. Why do you think that the American dollar is dying? It's that God that they trust. Remember, Jesus said it himself to Satan, to Lucifer, "You're not only the prince of this world, but you are the God of this world." Remember that. Because there is going to be a war coming. I may not be here to see it. Some of us might not. I might be here to see it. You never know. There's no guarantee. All you can do is pray. That's pretty much it. Don't trust the government. You get somebody from the government knocking on your door, don't trust them. The reason our whole world is falling apart here in America is because of those very people that are working with the dark forces. And they don't like me speaking out about it. It pisses them off every second of the day. They see me coming on live and they say, "Oh, Jesus Christ, there's that loudmouth again." Yeah, I'm a loudmouth. It is what it is. I gave you the information. It's up to you guys to know what you want to do with it. All right. Eric and I will be coming on Friday night. Just be careful. Whatever faith you have, pray, man. Pray. Because things have only started. Okay. Everybody, thank you for being here. If you can, share this out. David, if you're watching, David Pilates. I know where your missing people are. I just figured it out. Until Friday, guys. Everybody, you take care. Be safe. Say your prayers, because we're going to need it.